first time I meditated, I was like, I suck at this. I mean, like it's like, because I thought I would just stop thinking,
I had to laugh. Like, I thought it was hilarious how.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because I was literally like, I remember going like 1 and then like off. And then I'd be like, oh my God, I totally forgot about it. But it was amazing to see.
Oh, counting.
I started off counting the breath.
Yeah.
And that made it very apparent, like, what number you got to.
Yeah.
It just, so maybe if it wasn't clear, it was like my first year I was following the breath. That was
okay.
Of meditation. But yeah, I just thought it was hilarious.
It's crazy. It's like in your blind spot.
Yeah.
You think it's easy. It's like to stop walking. I just have to stand still. No.
Well, yeah. I mean, it that kind of stuff. I don't know about you, but for me, like a big pull towards meditation was, I actually didn't really buy it when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of did it because it was suggested.
Yeah.
But it is strange, like the nature of your mind. Like we really think we know it, but when you consider that you've sat down, let's say it's just 10 minutes, and you have a conscious intention to follow the breath, and your mind just keeps going off to places. It's bizarre to me that's
so strange.
Yeah, that happens. And one thing was, I remember.
Yeah, it's crazy that there is this elephant hidden in plain sight, just in front of you, and that we just live our lives without even seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, just consider the fact that sometimes, like, on your way to work, like, how much of the way do you remember, really?
Yeah.
But you ended up at work. That's fucking weird.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Experiencing self versus remembered self.
Yeah, right.
That's a Kahneman. You know him?
Oh, was it Kahneman?
Daniel
Kahneman. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and Amos Tversky, they did some research on it. Okay. It was in Thinking Fast and Slow, that book. They got the Pseudo Nobel Prize in economics.
Oh, right.
But yeah, so we were talking about meditation. Yeah, it's crazy. I think that it's another specious comparison. But I feel like when there is self-reference, weird things start to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a bunch of paradoxes. Like, there is, of course, Zenon's arrow, like the arrow that goes, you shoot an arrow, there is an archer shooting an arrow to trying to hit a mark, mm-hmm. and then the arrow goes like half the distance, mm-hmm. and then it goes half the distance, and then half the distance, and then half the distance, and then it never reaches.
Yeah.
And there is another example of self-reference, and I'm really passionate about this because I love Douglas Hofstadter, and he talks a lot about this in his different books. Another example is like, this phrase is false, and if it's true, it's false, and vice versa. So it's like, another example, and you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. Mm-hmm. Another one, that there is the barber's paradox. Like, so you have a town, and you have a barber, one barber in the town. And there is this rule: every man either shaves himself or is shaven by the barber. No exceptions. But then who shaves the barber? Mind blown. No, and where I'm going with this is that when you're meditating, it's a form of metacognition. So you're actually thinking about thinking.
Yeah.
It's like a loop, an endless loop in a computer program.
Yeah.
It goes haywire. Weird things start to happen when we think about how we think, because it's like a hole of mirrors,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. And you can drive yourself nuts thinking about the nature of that. Like, it's like there's, I mean, I guess the way I kind of look at it, when I think about that, I think about how the question of, like, where am I in my consciousness?
Oh, yeah. Are you behind your eyes or?
Yeah,
that
or
stuff?
Not necessarily that, but like the watcher, like the
oh yeah,
the
one who experiences and the one who judges.
Yeah, because a lot of times I feel like Like I'm observing, but I have this really strong relation to my thoughts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then eventually later I might have this experience. No, that was just thinking. You know what I mean? So like, how many layers do you go down? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like an Inception. We have to go deeper.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
But it is such a freeing thought.
Mm-hmm.
The day I realized that, it was just reading Eckhart Tolle. You know Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah.
I just like, a friend of mine gave me his book, and there was just this phrase, "You are not your thoughts." And when I realized that, my life changed. I mean, not in a big way.
Yeah.
But it felt like it's just this simple idea.
Yeah.
But not the idea, the realization that you are not your thoughts. That is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
When you've been associated with the self for your whole life.
Yeah. But you know what I find even crazier, maybe funnier, in maybe a sad way, is like knowing that, like, for all intents and purposes, when I'm sitting down and meditating, it's apparent that I'm not my thoughts, and I'm definitely not making them. Like the subjective me, I'm not making them.
Yeah. So I am. Oh no, sorry. I think, therefore I am. Completely false.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not so obvious that you are the one doing the thinking.
Yeah.
And what is I, anyways?
Yeah, $1 million question.
That's Nietzsche. Like, he just like took the phrase from Descartes, and everybody was like, "Yeah, that is the ground truth." You know, cogito ergo sum. And Nietzsche went like, "Nope, bullshit."
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty good. I guess it was a good start.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty insane that he managed to like break it down this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, to imagine that reality. And he, Nick Bostrom and the simulation hypothesis, that we live in a computer simulation.
Yeah.
He saw that. Because he was like, maybe reality is just a veil in front of your eyes, put there by a malingénie, by a devil, some kind of devil.
Yeah.
Evil genius. I mean, evil genius in the Latin sense, you know.
Right.
And he saw that, so that's pretty crazy. But no, René, it goes way deeper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about it.
Yeah, but don't you think it's funny though? Like, maybe your experience is different, but what I find funny is, despite knowing, like, from my experience, that I am not my thoughts and I'm not making them, that the sense of being, the sense of being a maker of thoughts is still there.
Yeah, I cannot also separate from that.
Yeah, you can't separate yourself from that.
That's next
that
level.
Perspective.
I think you can, but
I mean,
but yeah, just
like currently.
Me neither. I cannot do it. Like, because Sam Harris talks about the I dissolving, and your sense of self dissolves.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then it's obvious. But yeah, that's the elephant in the room. It's pretty crazy. Because we all have this like Judeo-Christian, Greek thinking that is a nice heuristic, but it doesn't go the whole way of the fact of free will. And it is so obviously wrong.
Yeah. And this is it's funny. Like, I mean, I think Sam
You
Harris
agree with me, man. I found a brother right there. Because I swear, every time I make this argument, people look at me like I lost my marbles.
Oh, I've upset 2 people talking about the lack of free will.
Oh yeah, people that I know.
No. Actually, nobody in Berlin. But I was surprised. Like, I remember Sam Harris saying that he was surprised that it was such a inflammatory topic.
Yeah.
And I was super surprised when I was just mentioning it as this thing, like, holy, it kind of makes sense that, we don't have free will. And this girl was like, just got really emotional. She was like, I cannot live in a world like that. And she just could not buy it. It's funny. For
me, it's a better world. It's weird. But it's like if we're peaking ourselves or being rational, which of course we aren't. Because to quote Haidt, the rational tail is wagging the emotional dog. And I think it's even more than that. I think rationality is some kind of, I mean, it's just like justice, like it's just like a meme we've created. But
That's interesting.
yeah. But anyways, it's just that our entire society and our entire Weltanschauung, the way we see the world, everything is built on it. And for example, I read Robert Sapolsky's latest book about behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called Behave. And it's amazing. And he goes through every level of behavior influence, be it like evolutionary or like at the gene level, societal. It's so interesting. And at the end of the book, he makes a case against the justice system as we know it.
I was wondering if we go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And that's why, and I was a law student. And that's the
Ah.
conclusion at which I arrived.
Interesting. Wait, so his so the conclusion was that there's something we
There-
need to fix about the
There is something, it's wrong in its core.
yeah.
And it's like we don't need to change the laws necessarily. We don't need to change the disposition, but we need to change the way we think about them.
Yeah.
Because there is this like Judeo-Christian idea of retribution,
Yeah.
of punishment that has, and it does, and if you just get rid of that, it doesn't mean you shouldn't put people in prison to like protect society.
No, exactly.
But it doesn't mean you should, I mean, you cannot derive an ought from an is.
Yeah.
I was also quoting Hume. I mean, referring to Hume when we were talking about rationality. Like reason is and ought to be only the slave of the passions. I'm referencing him here because the reality doesn't dictate a way of acting about it. But I think definitely that we have to stop thinking about punishing people and making them suffer because they made other people suffer.
Yeah. I think to quote Sam Harris is like hate doesn't make sense when you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Like similarly, do you know Johann Hari?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he's
Talking about addiction.
Yeah, talking about addiction and like and I think it's similar, like the way we treat people with addiction. I forget. My brain's starting to
Yeah, we've
Go
been talking
blank.
for a long time. Yeah.
But essentially he was saying like the way we treat people with addictions is we put them in prison or put them in rehab or something. We isolate them
Yeah.
when really what we should be doing is taking care of them,
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
you know?
I mean, seeing them as victims of their own circumstances.
And I think maybe not the only thing, but a big thing that stops us from changing our policies for the better is this idea of retribution and exacting justice on somebody.
Yeah.
It's strange. We can't help it but want to punish people.
The wicked.
Yeah.
The one that's straight from the fray.
Yeah.
You know? The little like black sheep.
Oh, the fray. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the one. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think it's very. I think it is very practical in some ways, because there is another elephant in the room,